Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back with another video. I'm not really going to do an intro because obviously my channel name is up there. But as you can see by the title of the video, I completed my A plus certification for CompTIA. I'm going to go over what the process of studying for that was like, what the expenses were, and if I think it's worth to get. So we'll start off with the expenses. So I paid absolutely nothing for this certification. The company that I work for paid for the certification, so I spent no money in regards to studying or taking the exams. I just got the vouchers and I did my studying. Now moving over to the method of study that I took to pass these exams, because if I'm being completely honest, the core one exam was pretty hard. And if you really think about it in retrospect, this certification has two exams for a certificate. So that alone tells you how much information you need to know to obtain the certification. And obviously there's course objectives or exam objectives that you have to follow to meet the criteria in passing the exams. For example, Core 1 is a lot of hardware-based stuff with some software here and there. And then Core 2 is a lot of conceptual and software-based information. So like Core 2 will go over how you actually use or what you actually use inside of the Windows system or Linux or Mac. And then it'll go over like cybersecurity topics, networking and such. What I did in studying for this material was I watched all the Professor Messer videos, and I know a lot of people say that, oh, I watched Professor Messer, this, that, and the third. Trust me, it works. Everything that you need to pass this test will be on Professor Messer's videos. I am currently working in IT as a tech support specialist, and a lot of the stuff that Professor Messer goes over is a lot of the stuff that I do at my job. Now, on top of the videos, I would suggest taking physical notes. When I was taking digital notes, I found that I was forgetting a lot of the information. On top of watching the Professor Messer videos and taking physical notes, I took practice exams with the Cert Master. My company paid for the Cert Master. If it were up to me, I wouldn't even use the Cert Master because again, the Professor Messer videos go over a lot of the information. I think it was helpful in getting used to taking the exam because the practice exam on the Cert Master was very similar to the one on the test. It is a little difficult for people who haven't touched a computer, I would say, because I come from a background of technology. I grew up with computers. I was playing Minecraft. I was doing a bunch of troubleshooting when I was young, so a lot of this stuff came natural to me and I already knew a lot of this stuff. Mind you, I also was working in IT full time because I already knew IT before this, but I was working IT full time for over a year before I took these exams. Now, lastly, do I think the A plus exam is important, or would I recommend it to new people? I would absolutely say that it is important. A lot of people will sit here and tell you that you should just skip it and get the security plus or network plus, this, that, and the third. But again, it's all situational. It depends on what you're gonna do with the CompTIA A plus certification. If you want to break into tech and get a help desk job or IT support specialist job, I think the CompTIA A plus certification definitely helps. A lot of the jobs around my area are looking for an A plus certification in terms of the roles for IT support specialist, sysadmin, or even help desk. I have a bachelor's degree that worked in my favor, but I have coworkers that don't have bachelor's degrees or even associate's degrees and have the CompTIA A plus certification, and we have the same job. So again, it's all very situational. I feel like it all depends on what you want to do, if you're gonna eventually climb the ladder. Overall, I think that if you want to break into tech, I think the A plus is a good cert. But if I were talking to someone who was in a similar situation to myself, where I have a bachelor's degree, computer science, then I wouldn't really recommend the A plus certification because there are a bunch of other certifications that are a lot more beneficial in pivoting up your career. For example, for the security plus or the network plus, and it would have been more beneficial than an A plus. But again, I have leverage because I have the A plus certification, a bachelor's degree, and experience. So again, all of this is situational. I think I learned a lot definitely by taking the A plus exam. There was a lot of things that I didn't know. There was a lot of things that I did know. There's a lot of things that I learned from my job. So again, the circumstances for a lot of people are going to be very different. I'm just here to tell my experience. I feel like I should end this off by telling my scores. So for the Core 1, the passing grade is 675 out of 900. I got a 762. For my Core 2, the passing score was 700 and I got a 795. The Core 2 was definitely easier. A lot of people say that. You know, some people will find Core 1 to be easier. Some people will find Core 2 to be harder. It's all on you. So again, yeah, I just wanted to make a quick update on how things are going. You know, I got my A plus certification and we'll see where we go from here.